So as you guys can already tell, this video is very late. I'm sorry this week has been super hectic for me, but I wanted to get your guys' opinion on something. I want to try and start posting another day a week on YouTube. I wanted to know if that would be something that you guys would want. Even if I just do like a short story Sunday type of thing, you know, where I just do like my everyday makeup and tell you guys like a 2 or 3 minute story. I don't know, let me know down below in the comments. But without further ado, I'm going to bring you guys up close. There we go. Okay, so my usual quick little rundown before I get into these story times. If you're new here, for most of the video, I will be looking in this direction because my mirror's over here and I would like to see what I am doing. I do tell these story times in a first person point of view, so if you don't like that, then you can leave. And these story times are sent in by anonymous people. Story time about how my boyfriend got my best friend pregnant. Don't we just love hearing stories about how trash men are? Anyway, so a little background information. I was 17 and a junior in high school, and I had started dating this guy who I thought was the love of my life. Literally. And we are going to call him Kyle. So Kyle and I have been together for about 3 years now, and him and I honestly were like inseparable. My parents adored him, and in all honesty, I thought I was gonna marry this kid. Not to mention, his parents also loved me, especially his mom though, okay? We were literally like best friends. She would call me and be like, hey, I wasn't sure if you wanted me to come and pick you up so we could go and get our nails done or go to the mall. Literally loved that woman. And to be honest, I was closer with her than I was my own mom, so if that doesn't say a lot, then I don't know what does. And Kyle and I both had 2 best friends, and when all 6 of us would hang out, the vibes were just unmatched. Because it wasn't like, you know, we had anybody third wheeling or anything like that, you know. Because from personal experience, I would hate whenever one of my friends would drag me along with their boyfriend, and I would have no one to talk to because they're like making out the whole time. And we're gonna call my friends Christy and Diana. Now, Christy and Diana were probably the nicest people that you would ever meet. Mainly the reason why I became friends with them, to be honest. Christy was kind of a bitch, but still way nicer than a lot of people that you meet on a daily basis. Anyways, fast forward. So all of us had just gotten our license, and my boyfriend Kyle got a car as well as my best friend Diana. I didn't get one because I decided to drive underage and drunk. To say that I was upset would be an understatement. Well, literally since the day that Kyle got his license, he would pick me up from school, drop me off at home, as he should, period. And he didn't live too far away. I want to say that he lived like 10 minutes away from me, which obviously he didn't mind because we got to spend a lot of time together in the morning. Like sometimes he would pick me up an hour early just so we could go and get coffee and get breakfast together. My boyfriend really loved me at the time. Like I said, y'all, I thought he was perfect. Well, it was all rainbows and sunshine until the one day Christy calls me, bawling her eyes out. She's like, I missed the bus. I need you to come and pick me up. Diana won't come and pick me up because she's so mad at me. Like, boo-hoo-hoo. And just a side note, Diana was absolutely furious with Christy. It wasn't just a little fight that they had, okay? Pretty much what had happened was Diana had called Christy before the weekend, and she was like, hey, Drake's coming from Chicago and I need you to cover for me. So I'm gonna tell my mom that I'm sleeping over your house. And Diana's boyfriend lived all the way in Chicago, and we all lived in South Carolina. But here's the kicker, he was 23 years old, and Diana's mom, that was an absolute no-go, right? Christy ends up saying, yeah, sure, I'll cover for you. But when that time came, she actually never pulled through for Diana. Diana's mom sent Christy a text at around like 2 in the morning, and she's like, hey, is Christy awake? Her dad needs the car in the morning, so she needs to be back at the house at around 8 a.m. And then guess what Christy says? She replies back and says she's not even here. What a fake bitch. And here's the weird thing. Christy would always cover for Diana because like anytime that any one of us was doing some fuck shit, we would all cover for each other, as we should. Girl power, period. Anyways, so I pretty much asked Kyle if we can go pick her up. And he was super pissed off because it turns out that our house was literally only 3 minutes away from his. So we were really late to school that day. Now, of course, when we had picked her up, I only thought this was going to be a one-time thing. Like, you missed the bus, okay, that's fine. You and Diana got over your fight. It is what it is. Little side note here, if I say Diana and Deanna, it's just because I'm getting their names mixed up. So just know I'm talking about the same person, okay? Okay. Well, for the past 3 days, every time that Kyle would come and pick me up from school, she would text me and be like, hey, can you guys ride me in? And neither of us wanted to be a dick, so we would go back and pick her up. I'm sorry, but if that was me, I would feel like I was overstepping my boundaries. Like, sis, don't make yourself too comfortable. After a week, Kyle's mom got an email from the school saying that he had been tardy the last few days. So him and I talked about it, and he was like, listen, until you grow some balls and tell her that we can't pick her up anymore, I'm gonna have to start picking her up first because I can't have my mom on my ass 24/7. Now, this was obviously very fucking annoying because now we have like no time to spend together before school. And to be honest, I was really happy that him and I were spending time before school because it was giving me like an insight to what life would look like when we were living together, because him and I had planned to get an apartment where we were going to college together, but that dream is dead now. Anyways, not to mention, after 3 times of picking her up, the 4th day she decides that she's going to sit in the front seat. I kid you not. Now, obviously, as you could imagine, this pissed me the fuck off. Like, really, 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 really badly. I wanted to kill her, but I didn't. Instead, what I did was I waited in my house for a few minutes while they were sitting outside to see if she would, you know, be like, oh shit, she's coming, I gotta get in the back, and, you know, hop in the back. Well, sis didn't think about that at all. So I walked outside, got in the back seat of the car, and Kyle didn't even say anything about it. He wasn't like, oh, like, Christy, get the fuck in the back, she's sitting up front. Nope. Anyways, like I said, this pissed me off really badly. So I walked out to the car, got in, and she's like, OMG, hey girl, acting like she didn't know. Like, she acted like nothing was wrong. And this bitch is not oblivious. She's able to catch on to social cues and everything like that. She just didn't give a fuck. So obviously I was fuming inside, but at that point I was just like, all right, we're gonna let it go. I'll play nice for now. The worst part about that car ride is while him and her were in the front, they were laughing, smiling, joking around. She would be like, oh my god, Kyle, stop it, and like hit him and stuff. And I'm like, girl, shut the fuck up and get your hands off my man. Fit again. But did I actually say that? No. You can call me bitter, jealous, whatever you want, but at this point she thought that she was best friends with my man. And obviously this was going to start problems. For example, we were at this football game, and I guess she had asked this guy out that she supposedly liked for a long time, right? And he rejected her, so she ran over to Kyle because, you know, they were besties. She was pretty much like begging for validation from my boyfriend. She was like, do you think I'm pretty? Like, do you think anybody will love me? I feel so ugly right now. She was like, do you ever think I'll find the right person for me? And then here's the kicker. She goes, if you weren't with her, would you be with me? Who the fuck says that to their best friend's boyfriend? The audacity on this hoe. Apparently at that point, Diana had already like gotten to her. She already like was like, hey bitch, you're a little bit psycho, so let's go over here right now before she kicks your ass. And then of course I get word of this from my bitch Diana. So obviously I was pissed off and I decided I'm not playing nice anymore. I don't even think this is about being nice at this point. I think this is about just like standing your ground and not being walked all over. So I confront her about this, obviously. I was like, I think it's really inappropriate the way that you've been acting with Kyle. First of all, you ask for rides every day. You started sitting up front, which I don't know why you ever had the balls to do that. You're barely even his friend. You need to have more respect for me as his girlfriend and start sitting in the fucking back of the car. Or, a matter of fact, not even be in the car with us anyways, because we don't like you. We think you're annoying. And the fact that you asked him if he would date you is extremely inappropriate and weird as fuck. as I'm about to keep going on with this rant, she interrupts me and she's like, I'm sorry, I'm just really upset because I liked this guy for a while and I feel so insecure. Every guy that I like doesn't like me back. I feel like they always used me and I would never try to get with Kyle. I feel like I'm listening back to a Cassie and Maddie situation. Anyways, I believe her because we've been best friends forever and I don't think that she would intentionally fuck up my relationship or even jeopardize our friendship for a guy since we've been friends almost our whole lives. So for a few days after that, she didn't ask for any rides to school or anything like that. She was taking the bus as she should. But then out of nowhere, Kyle started to be really weird with me. And I honestly had no idea why. He would pick me up, the car ride would be silent to school. Anytime that I tried to have a conversation with him, he would shut down the conversation immediately. He wouldn't even say like, hey, let's go get coffee, let's go get breakfast. He would pick me up at last minute just to go to school. Fast forward, Christy is back on her bullshit again. She was like, hey, can you guys come pick me up? So of course he picks her up first. She's sitting in the back of the car whenever I get in and they're laughing, giggling, joking around. It was just very unpleasant to see that he would be like this with another girl but not like that with me. Because I know I wasn't the problem. I know it was him. I mean, now I know that. Anyways, a few days later, we FaceTimed the one night and he was like, hey, I can't pick you up before school anymore. I have a lot going on and it just like takes too much time to drive from my house to your house. My house was literally on the way to the school, so he had to drive 10 minutes, go into my neighborhood, pick me up, and then the school was literally like 5 minutes away from there. So I was like, oh, that's fine. Like, I had asked my mom anyways if I could start sleeping over on weeknights so that way we could hang out more, and she said that was fine. Then he came up with some bullshit excuse and he was like, oh, like, I wish, but no, my mom said that I have to focus on my grades and football right now. Which, remember how I told you that my mom and him were basically besties? Yeah, I texted her because I wanted to confirm that I could spend the night over there on the weeknights before I told him because I wanted it to be a surprise. So yeah, it was just like lie after lie after lie after lie. But at that point, I just left it at that because maybe he was going through something. I don't even know. I made up so many excuses for this kid while we were together. It was absolutely ridiculous. So I talked to Christy and Diana about this and they were like, I mean, yeah, it's a little bit weird, but everything's probably fine. He's probably just stressed out about school because it was junior year, and as anybody knows, junior year is like one of the most important years in high school because it's pretty much the last year that you have to make sure that your grades are right and everything like that for college. Anyways, so I tried not to worry about it because, to be honest, him and I were still spending time together after school. It was just weird because he would usually, any chance that we got to spend some extra time together, he would be all for it, I would be all for it, so this was a little bit weird. Well, that was until he texted me the one day before school's out and he was like, hey, I can't take you home after school today or for the next few weeks. And I'm like, what the actual fuck is going on? Who kidnapped my boyfriend and put this little piece of shit in his place? Until he calls me the one day right before school's out and he's like, hey, can't take you home today, have to go straight home and study for this test. I'm like, okay, fine, whatever, you know, cool. Until that was his excuse for literally the next 2 weeks in a row. At this point, I'm super pissed off and I decide to call him out on his bullshit. I'm pretty much like, at this point, you don't want to spend any time with me. You make up lie after lie after lie to avoid me and I don't even know what I've done. Your mom pretty much told me that she never ever once said that you had to go straight to school and come straight home after. He said that he did not know what I was talking about, so I just decided right then and there, you're getting fucking blocked. I'm not gonna be lied to and treated like a piece of shit. So like I said, I blocked him and I pretty much ignored him for the rest of that weekend. Well, on Monday, I got a text from Diana saying, hey, I just saw Kyle crying in his car. You might want to talk to him, and I'm still really pissed off at him, but I decide to be the bigger person, you know, a good person, unblock him and text him. And I'm like, hey, are you okay? And then he's like, OMG, I'm so happy to hear from you. I've been super stressed out over what's been happening between us. I miss you so much and I love you. I don't know what's been going on with me these past few weeks. I've just been super stressed out lately about everything. I didn't know what everything meant, but I decided to try to be supportive. So after that, we were pretty much together. Okay, we got back together until a week later when I caught him in 4K. I caught him in 4K. So like I said, everything had been going really well for 1 week until the one morning he texts me and he's like, hey, I'm gonna go to school early today. I need to talk to this one teacher. Could you possibly take the bus today? Me being the understanding girlfriend that I am, I'm like, sure, I can take the bus today. I don't mind. I should have. And that I didn't really have an issue with because, like I said, he had been driving me to school pretty much that whole week. So my mom had driven me to school that morning, and when I get out of the car, oh, just a little quick thing here. So whenever you pull up to my school, if you're getting dropped off in the morning, you get dropped off in the student parking lot. You don't get dropped off in the front of the building or anything like that. So she dropped me off at the bottom of the hill, and as I'm walking up the hill, I pass by my man's car and I glance over real quick, and then I look back and I see Christy and Kyle making out in the fucking car. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. So I am furious, of course, and now I'm thinking that this must be an everyday thing because my mom never drives me to school. I usually would just take the bus when Kyle isn't taking me because the buses drop you off on the complete other side of the building. So at that point, I call my mother and I tell her that if she makes me go to school today, I'm going to unalive myself. Later that day, I invite them both over to confront them, and I told them how I had saw them and pretty much that they were terrible people and I hated them. They were dead to me now. And then they proceeded to tell me that they were just hugging. They were hugging. Oh my god, like, I'm so dumb. I'm like legally blind. No, bitch, I know what I fucking saw. You're not fooling anybody. Like, the fact that people even, like, do you know those people who literally will come up with the dumbest lies and like they sound like lies? You know they're a lie, but they do it anyways, even though they know that you know that they're lying. That's like when someone lies about something and you have the screenshots. I just can't deal. You gotta love dumb people. They make these stories 10 times better. Anyways, so after they said that, I told them to get the fuck out of my house because I was not going to sit there and be disrespected anymore than I already had been. Well, I hadn't told anybody about this, not even Diana. I pretty much just let it resonate through the weekend because I needed to figure out what the fuck I was going to tell everyone because Kyle is a mommy's boy, so I doubt he told his mom because he would never want her to be disappointed in him. Well, Sunday night, I'm about to call Diana when she calls me first, and the first thing she said is, I'm going to unalive this bitch. And I'm like, who the fuck is this girl talking about? So I'm like, what happened? Who are you talking about? You know, she's like screaming on the phone. She was like, do you remember the one night whenever Christy told my mom that I wasn't over her house? And I was like, yeah, what about it? She was like, well, bitch, I found out why she told my mom that I wasn't there. She was like, my mom came to the hotel and she picked me up, and Christy was actually talking to Drake at the same time that I was because I guess they had both met him at this concert. But here's the thing, Christy did not like him, but Diana did. Diana thought like she was all up on that. She told all of this, I called it, and nobody had an issue with it because nobody else liked him. Well, apparently Christy ratted on Diana so she could go and meet up with Drake at this hotel, and they ended up doing the nasty. Now, how does Diana know about all this? Because her and Drake got into a fight and he pretty much told her everything, and whenever she was like, I don't believe you, you're lying, he pretty much sent her proof. So yeah, fast forward 3 days later, I get a text from Christy out of nowhere, and I had no idea why this bitch was calling me. Like, I thought I made it clear I don't want you or Kyle talking to me, you skanky whore. Anyways, like I said, so she calls me, she's crying, she's like, I'm pregnant, I don't know what to do. I really need a friend right now. I feel like I have nobody. Girl, the audacity of some people, it just really amazes me. So at this point, I didn't know if it was Drake's kid or Kyle's kid. I'm out here like trying to solve a murder mystery. Call it Bailey Sarian. Anyways, so I call Kyle and I was like, Christy just told me she's pregnant. What the fuck is going on? And he was sobbing on the phone saying that he's sorry. Just a bunch of bullshit, how he never really wanted her. He doesn't want this baby with her. And when I asked him for the full fucking truth, he told me that they had been fucking every morning before they came in to pick me up from school. And he never stopped giving her rides to school when he told me that he had to go straight home, like to and from school, you know? And not to mention they had been doing this the last 5 months of our relationship. I was truly heartbroken and had no idea what to do. Obviously, I wasn't going to stay with him. Like, him and I were done. That was long gone. At this point, I needed to respect myself. So I managed to keep myself together and just remember that karma is a fucking bitch. At least that's what I was telling myself. Really trying to make myself feel better about the situation. Eventually, Christy was doing online school because she had been getting bullied really badly. From 1, being a homewrecker, 2, destroying all of her friendships, and 3, being pregnant at her age. Kyle, on the other hand, his mom was fucking livid. He had to quit football, get a full-time job, and now he doesn't even know if he's going to college because he goes to school, goes to work, goes home, and takes care of the baby. The funniest part is that Kyle's mom literally talks the most shit with me, and she's always keeping me updated on everything. And the thing is like, I don't even care anymore. It's just that like, I think it's funny. She was like, well, now that Christy's parents know that she's pregnant, the rat got kicked out, and I guess she has to come and live with us. Like I said, karma's a bitch. So this could be the reason why I'm in therapy, or the reason why I just have really bad trust issues. Okay, everybody, that is the end of today's story time. If you guys like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more of me, maybe hit that subscribe button down below. And if you want to know when I post my next video, make sure to click that bell. And if you want to send in your anonymous story time, make sure to click the link down below in the description. But I will see you guys next week with a new story time.
child wasn't so judgmental, I would identify as a unicorn. What's not to love? They are so majestic and rare. They literally fart rainbows. It doesn't get more pure than that. So I've decided I'm having a rainbow unicorn birthday party with unicorn plates and party favors and a unicorn piñata. But the best part are the unicorn hot dogs. Well, they're inspired by Korean corn dogs with rainbow mozzarella and beef hot dogs wrapped up in a rainbow bun. But my husband says it's asinine and I'm too old. It's my birthday and I should be able to celebrate the way I want. I think it's fun and nostalgic. So I uninvited him and told him not to be home while I'm throwing my party. Am I the asshole? Tell me what you think in the comments. Am I the asshole for making the bridal shower cake for my stepsister's ex-husband's new fiance? My stepsister and her ex-husband divorced due to multiple affairs they were both guilty of. They should have just been swingers, but that's not my business. I stayed neutral and remained friends with her ex-husband. They both moved on. However, my stepsister and her ex are still not on the best of terms. He is newly engaged, and since we're friends, he asked me to make his new fiance's bridal shower cake and their wedding cake, and I agreed because money. Now my stepsister is calling me a backstabbing traitor and telling me I need to pick a side. Am I the asshole? Tell me what you think in the comments. Also, I just created a YouTube, so click the link in my bio to subscribe. Also, follow me on Instagram. Once I hit 10,000 YouTube subscribers, I'll host a live bake-along. Am I the asshole? My husband's lactose intolerant, but he eats dairy anyway, like stuffed crust, cheese-covered pizza, and ice cream. And we all have to suffer the consequences. The cramps, diarrhea, gas, and he complains about crumbs in the bed. Try sleeping in a Dutch oven. So I switched his favorite mint chocolate chip ice cream with avocado ice cream. I even made them look like little avocados. And he was none the wiser. He thought he was magically cured until he found the carton in the trash. Now he's saying I'm an asshole. Am I the asshole? For Father's Day, I took my husband to a cigar lounge because he finds a good cigar and an old-fashioned very relaxing. He enjoyed himself so much we took a box home. I don't want him smoking in the house, so he smokes in our backyard. When he had his first cigar, our neighbor, let's call her Karen, peeked her head over and asked him to stop since the wind keeps blowing the smoke over to her yard. He agreed because he was almost done with the cigar anyway. A couple evenings later, he was in our backyard smoking another cigar, and this time Karen came around to our front door to complain to me, so I told her to beat it. Am I the asshole? My great aunt was an amazing baker. She made this delicious and unique cake. It's strawberry cake and flan encased in a refreshing strawberry jello shell. She always made it for special occasions, but she got sick a couple years ago, so I asked her for the recipe, and I took up the torch of making the cake. I also started selling the cake for some extra cash. Now my cousin Courtney wants to start selling cakes and asked for our great aunt's recipe, and I said no. Am I the asshole for hiding my mom's affair from my stepdad? Yesterday we had brunch at my parents' house. We decided to try our hand at the supreme croissants like the ones at Lafayette Bakery, but a savory version filled with a mozzarella cheese sauce and topped with prosciutto ribbons. I was using my mom's iPad to Google how to make prosciutto ribbons with my stepdad when a text came in from someone named Wayne. The text said he enjoyed their steamy rendezvous last night and he can't wait to see her again. My stepdad noticed a shocked look on my face and asked me what was wrong. I lied and said it was nothing, and then I quickly deleted the message before my stepdad could see. I couldn't believe my mom has been cheating on my stepdad. I'm torn because this is the man who raised me and I feel a sense of loyalty to him. But I'm not snitching on my mom. I'm not sure what to do. Am I the asshole for hiding it from him? Should I talk to my mom? What would you have done? Let me know in the comments.
Am I the asshole? I made a small charcuterie board for myself with fruits, nuts, and wine. The best part was the globe ice cubes that I made with edible flowers and glitter inside. Naturally, I wanted to show it off. I posted it to my story and captioned it, Material Girl. It got some heart eyes and some likes, but then I got a message from one of those social media activists. She said we're in the middle of a housing crisis and facing a food shortage, and called me self-centered for posting something like that. There are babies who can't get formula. I should be ashamed of myself, and I'm not impressing anyone. Am I the asshole?